got one more treat for you before the day ends. And this is going to be another leader in the future that everybody here will be like, I remember when I saw her. Now, she is an unbelievably dynamic speaker and a visionary leader from the great Lone Star State. Now, get this. She was the first Republican African-American woman to ever be elected to the Texas State Legislature. She's a leader. She's going to be moving the conservative movement in the right direction for the future to come. Ladies and gentlemen, help me to introduce Stefani Carter.
I'm Stefani Carter, and I'm a conservative Republican state representative from the great state of Texas. And I'm so proud to be running for the Texas Railroad Commission as well, which is a statewide elected office regulating oil and gas. Now, thank you. You may not be familiar with the Railroad Commission, and that's okay. But if you're not familiar with Texas, you know that it's where Senator Ted Cruz is from. You know, I was raised in a family that's not wealthy. Being from a family with 6 kids, I can tell you we had some tough times. And I can remember still moving from house to house and living with my grandmother in her trailer home for a short period. My father, whom I adore and who's one of my best friends, he is the typical American small businessman. Dad started his career as a chemical engineer, but he decided he has an entrepreneurial spirit, and he started a lawn care company. And Dad has been mowing lawns for as long as I can remember. My mother, who was a school teacher, decided to become his bookkeeper. And Mom is the person who prints out the invoices, folds them into thirds, stuffs the envelopes, and waits for checks to come in. Even though we did not have very much, I tell you what, my parents gave us, all 6 of us, a ton of support and love. They were always willing to do everything and anything to see that their kids succeed. My parents taught all 6 of us all about hard work, determination, self-responsibility. They taught us about the American dream, the belief that we can accomplish anything in life as long as we put our hearts and minds into it. They taught us that the opportunities of our great country are only limited by our imagination. Now, I watched Mom and Dad struggle over the years, and I saw firsthand how our government creates burdensome bureaucracy and overreaching policies and the effects on a small business, and those just trying to put food on the table for their kids. Now, like many people of color, my parents are loyal Democrats. I'm sorry to report that. And I was raised a Democrat. But it's the same old story. You know, children grow up, they go off to school, and they come back with foreign ideas and values. And that's what happened to me. It's true. After graduating from UT Austin and Harvard Law School, both bastion of liberalism, I became a conservative. In fact, Ted Cruz and I both received our law degrees from Harvard. Imagine that. And I only became a conservative after interning at the Heritage Foundation, by the way. Now, it's a funny thing. There must be a dean somewhere at Harvard sitting there who accidentally tuned in to C-SPAN on Tuesday to watch Ted Cruz, and maybe tonight, if Congress is off the floor, to see me. And he's sitting in the corner, scratching his head, going, boy, where did I go wrong? You know, in Texas, Democrats are trying to take over. They're bringing back Turn Texas Blue. And I know we have Texas in the audience. Their plan is to do that through minority outreach and female candidates. Now, I may be the only major Republican female statewide candidate in Texas, and the Democrats may have more, but I don't believe we're outnumbered at all. How many of you have heard of Wendy Davis? The filibuster Davis? Well, I have 4 words from Wendy tonight, and that is. Come and take it, Wendy. I'm also here to talk to you about energy. Energy is so important, and some of you might have seen the president gave a speech earlier this year about energy, and he gave excuses as long as my arm about why America cannot be energy independent. I don't know if you remember that. I've noticed that the president, when it comes to fighting conservatives and talking tough, he's ready to go after conservatives. But when it comes to issues like energy independence, he remains weak. And he's quick to accept defeat. The problem is, when it comes to energy independence, we can win. We can. And this is no time to surrender, Mr. President. With fracking, oil shale, and some of the best drilling technology in human history, we have a real opportunity in North America to finally be in a position of energy independence. Independence, by the way, means let's get away from insecure sources of foreign oil. Unfortunately, all of this comes at a time in which we have a president who hates energy. Even Saudi Arabia's own oil minister, who himself was worried that buyer nations like the U.S. will not buy Saudi oil, must be so relieved about Obama's energy policy. And with the price of oil at more than $100 a barrel, why should America buy so much oil from overseas? Why not take advantage of these historic advances in technology? And it's because President Obama has a different idea. He wants to become energy independent without oil. And who's going to tell President Obama that Air Force One is not wind powered? His limo is not solar powered? I've been a strong voice for energy in the Texas legislature. I'm proud of my record. I've been called, by the way, too pro-energy. And I'm proud of that. I wear it as a badge of honor. We have to fight back, and we see in Congress that the Congress members like some of our favorite members, U.S. Senator Ted Cruz, standing up to Obama on Obamacare. And that's why my favorite book is Green Eggs and Ham. You know, in closing, I'll just say President Reagan used to talk about the shining city on the hill. I can tell you that what lights the city so bright is energy. And if we want to keep that light from flickering out, we must fight for energy independence. God bless Texas, and God bless the United States of America.